Hello, and before we even get into the episode today, I just want to give an account of my morning. I've been waiting for a book to arrive, a book that will be in this video. I just ordered it. I had a £10 voucher at Waterstones. I used it to purchase said book. You could not get it delivered to the store. You had to just order it. So I had it delivered and got an email saying it will arrive between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And I thought, fantastic. They'll just post it through the door, hunky-dory. And I see at the bottom of the email, package requires signature. Now, I've never had this before. For a book from Waterstones, a signature. I woke up, and then it became very apparent to the idea that I don't want to miss it. That's just a lot of effort. And I want to start reading the books. I want to start making this video. So instead, I've been sat all morning, stewing in my own filth, waiting for this book to arrive. I can tell you, it said between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. It didn't arrive by 1 p.m. I was still waiting. And then when the guy did turn up, he knocked on the door. I answered it. He goes, I have a package here that requires signature. Must be something important if it requires a signature. And I was just like, I can most assuredly tell you that it is not worth having a signature, and I don't know why I need to give one. And he laughed, handed it over, and disappeared from my life. They're probably never to be seen again. So this is me, directly after having a shower, after that happened. For those who are aware of who I am still in the midst of writing essays, so I'm going to look like shit. Part of me is going to be focusing on modernism no matter what I'm reading and talking about, so I appreciate any forgiveness that can be given to if I have good takes or bad takes. Just assume that I'm wrong regardless. Nevertheless, thank you very much for popping into the video. Quite a tangent to start it. We are reading two of Willow's favourite books. I don't think I need to tell anyone who Willow's channel is, but in case you do need to know, watch it. It's fantastic. I appreciate, in terms of for myself, because I read a lot of, I think a wide variety from predominantly fantasy with literary and horror and sci-fi and non-fiction and whatever are thrown in there. I find a lot of very good, very me recommendations through that channel. And so check it out because they're basically just better me. So I reached out to Willow, as I usually do, as I pull up my laptop to look at the options. And for this one, I'm changing the series slightly, reading 3 books for each video, especially with some of the channels fantasy focused. Big chunk has been recommended. Provides me with a lot of TBR stress and existential dread. So as a result, I'm slimming it down to two books a video. Willow provided 3 books for each, which was fantastic, because, as we're going to see, the people I'm reaching out to, typically, I've at least read some of the books they've very much recommended. And we see that here. So the first one is Frankenstein. I've read that twice. I mean, I love it. It's in my sci-fi recommendations video. Fantastic. And the second one was If We Were Villains. Now, you think I haven't read If We Were Villains. You would assume that that's the one I'd choose as it's the only one I haven't read. You'd be wrong. I bought Grace If We Were Villains for Christmas, and as a result, I know that it's there. I know it's on another continent, but I know I have it somewhere for an edition for me to read. And so I don't want to spend extra money on a copy that I already have a book that I could read. So instead, we're going with the third option. That's right, Convenience Goddamn Store Woman. I love this book. I read it, funnily enough, almost exactly a year ago today. I read it on the 11th of May, 2022. So that was that set me in the head where I was like, it seems almost prophetic that I should read this again. So I already know that I love this book. Very interested to reread it now that I've also read Earthlings. We're gonna revisit one of my favourites. I've recommended this more than any other book that I've ever read. I have at least got 3 or 4 people to buy this book in real life. I've bought it for people as gifts. I've told people to get it. I've done the most I can. So Sayaka Murata probably owes me at least 5 pence in shilling out for the book. Convenience Store Woman follows 36-year-old Kiko, is it? Yes. Kiko, who does not fit in. She does not have a husband. She's 36. She everyone kind of comments on the fact that she doesn't fit in with society. She just wants to work in this convenience store part time, loves it. That's what she wants to do. And so instead, it's um, it's a story of them finding their place in society, the idea of conformity. It deals with so many issues, and the ending, I remember the ending thoroughly, vividly. I remember the feeling I had. It gave me ultimate catharsis. It brought up all of these issues that I feel about myself in terms of fitting in, and I just remember it ending and removing all of it, and I felt so free at the end of it. So, here's hoping I catch that again, because I'm ready for it. I won't say anymore. We'll see what I think. Did I did I do anything with that to edit? Who knows. Book one is finished. Oh my god. It only took me 2 days to read Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata because it's so fucking good. I love this book infinitely. When I first read it, I gave it 4 stars because I wasn't quite sure on where things were going. This time, it was amazing. It was perfect. Now, do I think it's a perfect book? No. Do I think it's the perfect book for me? Absolutely. I think this is made for a very particular type of people. If you believe that you are well adjusted, if you believe that when you go out in the world, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it because I don't live it. If you go out into the world and you're constantly thinking about how people act, think about how people talk, how people interact with each other, you're constantly changing and altering how you act to adjust to different people. If you feel so self-conscious all of the time and you feel a societal pressure, you feel an issue of having children, getting married, getting a job, all of these things drive you insane, then read this book because it deals with every single one of those issues perfectly in a very, very dry, funny, incredibly heartwarming way. I don't want to go into it too much because it is so short, you just blast through it. For people that have been on the channel, they know. For those that don't, I read books out loud to my housemate while we're doing stuff. So he was playing Zelda and I was reading, and so he listened to the entire thing. And at the end of it, even he was like, that really spoke too closely to home. And so if you are that person, and it's hard to recommend it because are you that person? I don't fucking know. Maybe you don't know. So it's best just to go in. Maybe the only criticism I would give to it is that sometimes the interactions and the characters that our character is speaking to feel too story serving. They feel in a sense like I'm here to provide a contrast to our main character for the deconstruction. And for some people, that will be a problem. For some people, they'll be like, they're not depthful enough characters, two-dimensional, blah, blah, blah. To me, I'm like, most people I meet in a daily basis are very two-dimensional people, including probably me. And so as a result, I don't have a problem with it in this story because it's serving a larger purpose, which is just looking you dead in the eye and saying, don't worry, I see you. You're going to feel an amount of catharsis at the end of this. You are going to feel absolute catharsis, in my opinion. I have both times I've read it. The book takes you from this starting place of introducing you to the character. You're like, oh, I relate to this person. I understand your issues. I understand what's going on. I hope everything goes well for you. It then puts you in a position where it starts adding in these tensions and it starts adding in societal issues, relationship issues, all of these things, building and building and building. Things change, the world shifts for this character. And it ramps up this anxiety inside of you. You start relating it to your own experience. You start spiraling. And then catharsis. One of the best, the true definition of catharsis, of the pure removal of emotion. Like that sense of relief, expunging all of this grief that's inside of you. That's why I think this book's perfect. That's why I'm so glad that Willow chose it. That's why I'll recommend it no end, because it slaps so hard. I'll wait for my paycheck from Soraka Murata. Book 2 was one that I was really glad turned up because it was actually, I watched the video where Willow reviewed this, and immediately I was like, this sounds very strange. I'm kind of here for it. And that is...
In the year of love.
This is another short one. I won't lie, this also really helped me choose this one because in the midst of deadlines, short ones, short kings, am I right? Okay, this is Joe is in a strange new country for university and having a more peculiar time than most. In a house with no walls, shared with a woman who has no boundaries, she finds her strange home coming to life in unimaginable ways. Jo's sensitivity in all her senses become increasingly heightened and fraught as the lines between bodies and plants, dreaming and wakefulness blur and mesh. This debut novel from critically acclaimed artist and musician presents a heady and hypersensual portrayal of sexual awakening and queer desire. This is a very odd printing. It's like a glossy cover, very abstract art, but nevertheless, we're going to go into it, see what I think. I'll be back for you in a moment. For me, probably a couple of days. Goodbye. Here we are at the end of all things. I have read Paradise Rot. I have nothing but extremely mixed thoughts. The first thing I'd like to say is that I rewatched Willow's review of this book, and I completely understand and agree with absolutely everything inside of that review. And I think at the end, when she said whether their interpretation was correct or whether it mattered, etc., is exactly how I feel. Because this is the absolute definition of a book that is objectively good, subjectively will be across the board. And I'm going to explain why I came on the weaker side. I've given it 2.25 stars. And that whilst I value some things inside of this book, overall, for me as a person, I'm just going to go into exactly why. For me, when I read about something that is regarding sexuality and regarding, especially not even sexuality, just relationships, safety is such a massive thing for me. I don't know. I know that the whole point of the book is to make you uncomfortable, and to ask questions and to provide that sense of exploration of bodies and relationship and everything there. Unfortunately, it did it for a way for me where I felt that our character was... I know it's a fucking horror book, so I don't know what... It's not a horror book, but like, it's a very graphic, very sensual, intentionally beautiful and off-putting book at the same time. It's meant to play in those realms. As a result, I should not be surprised that the character is in situations that I found absolutely uncomfortable to read, because I genuinely, from a personal point of view, I was like, I feel like the character is in a sense of danger. And that is the point, but I have no enjoyment reading that personally because of the ending. Maybe I should just go into spoilers because, I mean, I've said what I rated it. If you care about the book, then I would sincerely recommend not listening to what I'm about to say. But I'm going to go into it. I think I'm going to go into my actual thoughts. I've just finished the book. Our main character, Joe, is in this situation, in this brewery where there are no walls. Well, it's like these small plywood walls. You can hear everything. You can see over things. You can see through things. So that there is a sense of an open plan, cohabitation. You are forced proximity with the person she lives with. And so they constantly hear each other, their sounds of sleeping, eating, reading, pissing, everything. They are enclosed in this place and they're slowly forming together. So I feel like there's one way you take the book, which is the idea of it's the Eden aspect, it is the Paradise Rot aspect of, is this character being corrupted? Are they rotting? Are they succumbing to the Eve? Are they the new Eve? Are they succumbing to this seduction? Or are they even gorging on it at some point? Are they indulging in it? And does it go the other way? It's asking very interesting questions. However, the way I kept on thinking about it is it brings a lot of ideas of like losing yourself. The idea of loss of identity in a power dynamic relationship is so overwhelmingly terrifying to me. And I felt like the book never went fully into that concept and instead was focused on the other side of it. That I was like, whoa, I'm worried, bro. I'm sincerely scared for this character because it plays a lot with the idea of being absorbed by another person, absorbing someone else, and losing yourself in another person, and with the power dynamics and the sexual maturity of different characters, the way they talk to each other, there is inherent power dynamics to me that the idea of losing yourself in it is a terrifying thing. And so as a result, we have this character set up, this friend from university, this German exchange student as well, who is clearly worried. Is like, you should come live with me. It seems like they're interested in a main character. I felt a genuine, like, a more innocent chemistry between them. The further we got in, the more that character felt like, maybe I'm also interested. And I felt like the book was building to the point of her having to leave this dangerous dynamic and moving into a safer situation where she can explore her sexuality in a safer environment. But that isn't how the book ends. She just fucks off. And I was like, what was that character? What was the point? Why? Why was that there? I thought it was going to have a fucking happy ending. It's not happy ending, but a bittersweet one of leaving. Like, you've explored this way and you've found what it's like where you are being in a power dynamic relationship where you aren't sure, you aren't safe, and then they remove themselves and put themselves in a fucking safe environment when they can explore. And I don't know, I thought that's what the story was going to be about, the sense of removing yourself from one situation and putting yourself in another to do the exact same thing, but one is in a healthier way. And instead that didn't happen. And as a result, that's when I was like, all the way through the book, I was kind of like, oh, I feel a 3-star. And then when it ended, I was like, I didn't get from this book what I wanted. And that's on me. It is what it is. It's my preference in what I wanted the story to be. It's evidently not the story the author wanted to tell, but that's just how I felt. I do think there's value in reading this. I think it would be very easy to reduce it to this is the piss book. But there are genuine, very intricate and very interesting thoughts throughout. And this should be up my alley, it's fair to say. Like, I was rewatching Willow's video, and she talks about the idea that of gross women and mentions Sayaka Murata and Atessa Moshfegh. And I am right at this very minute trying to decide my dissertation topic, and the one that I'm pretty sure I'm going to do is talking about Sayaka Murata and Atessa Moshfegh and alienation and removing women removing themselves from society. That is what I think I'm going to focus on. So this should be up my alley, but it is just that those little key elements to a book that makes me feel uncomfortable in the reading process that did unfortunately make it not work. And so I think that's as much as I'm going to say about it. Interesting. So here we are at the end. First thing, if you did enjoy, please do like. It means a lot. And if you are new here from Willow's channel, please think about subscribing. Thank you very much, Willow. I really appreciate you getting in touch and giving me these wonderful books to read, because rereading Convenience Store Woman has ultimately completely shifted what I thought I was going to do my diss on. And I now do think that I'm going to do Sayaka Murata as my dissertation topic. So thank you very much for that, because you've given me great fucking you've got my brain narrowed now. And Paradise Rock gave me a lot to think about. And so I appreciate both choices. Please do check out Willow's channel, because like I said, they are practically just a much more competent and better version of my channel. And I suppose that's it. Let me know in the comments if there's anyone that you would like to see me do next on a video. And have a nice rest of your day.